Welcome to another episode of the Engineering Influence podcast by the American Council of Engineering Companies. My name is Shreya, and we are coming to you live from the ACEC Fall Conference in San Diego. I'm pleased to have here with me Dylan Seesman, one of our Young Professional Award winners. Dylan, congratulations on winning, and thank you so much for making the time to be here.
Thank you.
So how do you feel after your big win?
It's kind of surreal. I got involved in ACEC about 4 years ago at my local level, and it was basically, getting voluntold by one of our partner companies saying, you got to have people on a committee. So I joined the Vertical and Private Markets Committee, and I didn't really know what I was getting into. Being a building structural engineer, it's ACEC kind of has a theme for being transportation focused. So finding a group of people that was like-minded and just getting my eyes opened to the resources of ACEC was pretty amazing. And, getting nominated, at the state level and then getting nominated at the national level was, pretty humbling. And, I'm just proud to be around, the other professionals and really just getting to interface with everybody this week. I had no idea what to expect coming to this conference. It's nothing like any other conference I've ever been to.
Very unique.
And just like really, really incredible conversation and just very encouraging conversation overall. So
yeah, we had one of very involved members of ACEC tell us that one of the reasons he loves this conference is because he gets aha moments. Yeah. And we asked him what an aha moment was. And it was when like-minded people in their firms have similar problems as him, and they're able to talk about their issues and discuss those issues together, because at this conference, there's so many different kinds of engineers, different kinds of technicalities and specialties represented. Like the exhibitors all have their own problems that they're solving through their projects and through their companies. Did you have any aha moments from this conference?
Yeah, it was so about a month before we were supposed to come here, I got approached to be on a panel, and the panel was what young professionals want.
Yeah.
And it was, great opportunity. I was really happy to even just be considered to be on the panel. And I was on the panel with one of the other young professionals, Chris. And after we shared kind of our stories and our perspectives, I think it was a great conversation overall. And every conversation I had after that, there were people that came up that were thinking the same way or trying things, or, they said like, oh, I've experienced that exact same thing that you went through when you were a kid, or like when you were growing up and, you were growing in the industry. So I think that was really amazing. Yeah. And then on top of that, I think there's been a lot of really great conversation around AI and technology and just leadership in general. So even the keynotes have been incredibly motivational, but AI has been such a buzzword in our industry for so long. And to be 100% honest, I used to be like, I'm tired of hearing about it. Like, let's just move on. But people are giving real actionable ideas around things that they're implementing. I sat with somebody at the luncheon that had great insight. He's their chief strategy officer at his firm, and he uses the same CRM that we do. And he's like, okay, well, if you start off on this path, this is great. Make sure you kind of leverage this and like you start on this path. So I have a bunch of things in my notebook that are, 5 stars around that bullet point, so I can make sure I go through it. But yeah, I think overall, just the trend of the entire conference has just been just really, really encouraged about the future in a time where, our industry's been, kind of running, a red line for so many years, especially since COVID. And now we have a lot of uncertainty with what's going on with policy and everything. But the general trend of the industry as a whole is really positive as we're all trying to uplift each other and move people forward. So
right. And I mean, like you said, the central theme of this conference, one of them has been workforce and encouraging the next generation to pursue engineering and encouraging the next generation of engineers to imbibe those soft skills and imbibe how to become like senior engineer and go higher and higher up the ladder to make sure that the future of engineering is secured.
Yeah.
And you were talking a little bit earlier when we were chatting about how you got into engineering. Yeah. You were told by a professor and you were told by someone else to come to this conference. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the workforce development piece of it is something that I'm really passionate about. So I was the first person in my family to go to college. My mom's the first person in her family to graduate high school. So like any, student whose, school appears as, easy to them at a young age, you get a lot of expectations as you're going through saying, you're going to go to higher education, you're going to do this, but there wasn't really a clear distinction of what I was going to do. I just knew I had to go to college.
Yeah.
And as I was kind of going through, when you're a kid, you have no idea what you want to be when you grow up.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it with workforce, a trend that we see is that you look for people in, industries that you see people like you or people that have similar interests to you. And that's what draws you to those industries.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that engineering was a pathway. So I was just going with what I was interested in. So I was developing in high school the world's worst art portfolio. I'm creative to a sense, but not anything that should be going to an art school. And math and science was always, something that came really easy to me. But junior year, I took physics for the first time. And that was one of those very early on aha moments. Math was one that, I always asked why are we doing formulas like this? Why do we have to structure equations like this? And, in math, you're just told like memorize it and just move on.
Yeah.
And physics added meaning to all of it. It was like, this is the purpose to what we've seen. And my professor, his name was Mr. Goodman, he took me aside after that first semester, my junior year. And he said, I don't know what you're planning on doing, but you're going to be a structural engineer when you grow up. And it was that level of, vindication and just confidence of somebody that I really respected telling me that, all these things that you're really good at, these things that you're passionate about, this is a great pathway for you to move forward. And, now there's programs like ACE Mentor and, other STEM focused programs. And you have, even at a very young age, in a lot of places, you've got like engineering camps and things that ACEC does great from a workforce development at individual state levels. And it's obviously a huge focus at the national level. And I wish we had programs like that when I was a kid, because I probably would have been way more clear on what I was going to do at a very young age. But it's something that, it's not perfect yet. I think, with our industry as a whole, we're seeing a trend of people want purpose. People want to be mission driven. That's what our firm is founded on. Improving the quality of life is what we do. And we've attracted a lot of people to the company that have wanted to add that purpose. And the thing that I want to see more holistically moving forward is I want to see the overall demographic of engineering look like our communities. Yeah. Because engineering is very skewed right now, and it's different sectors are getting better and they're moving in that direction, but the work is not even close to being done. And we need professionals across the board in every discipline doing what they can to just advocate and educate, kids at as young of an age as possible. So
yeah, we're talking about kindergarten here.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they need to start learning that engineering is not just math. It is about bettering communities. It's about helping communities. Yeah. And serving the communities that you live in. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, I had a conversation with a woman at a career fair probably 4 years ago, and she was passionate about structural engineering, but she was having a really hard time in calculus.
Yeah.
And I had to retake Calc 2, my, I guess, sophomore year of, college at Purdue. And
I went to Purdue too.
Oh, awesome. Boiler up. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So Calc 2 was very hard. And I thought that I got the grade I needed, but I clearly didn't. I had to retake it.
Yeah.
And somebody failing a class or getting a C- or a D, like she was really worried about if she could even succeed in the industry. And, I had to be real with her. And I said, like, if you care, that's all you need, right? You can learn anything. What you're doing, you need to build a base from an educational perspective, but we're not trying to discourage people from staying within this industry. We're trying to encourage them.
Exactly.
And it doesn't just have to be, you have to be a math savant who can, do all this. I had to work really, really hard. Purdue was the hardest 4 years of my life.
Difficult.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is something that I think if people told their story more, and people see that people that achieve something or have success or have like a title or something like that, if you just tell your story of the struggle. Our keynote talked about highlights. Yeah. People share a lot of highlights. You don't see a lot of lowlights shared, right?
No,
and
really
we gotta just give the full perspective of it, but then also sharing the passion side, right? And just if you know that you have these options and engineering is a pathway to get to somewhere that you can really do something that has meaning to you, it's really hard to justify not going into an industry like that. So
I completely agree with that. 100%. To wrap up here, what advice would you have for the next generation of engineers coming in?
one of the sessions, they said, be curious. And I think you should constantly be asking questions, and you should be looking for ways to really, really grow, not only professionally or technically, but personally. There's a direct correlation to how fast or how far somebody advances in their career based on how well they can communicate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not I can just, speak in front of a microphone. It's this communication, it's written communication. It's also how you show up.
Yep.
And I've had great mentors in my life that have pushed me to grow more personally than I thought I ever would have in the last 5 or 6 years. And that has really made a difference. So I think it's being curious and really, really looking to grow in all aspects of life, because that personal representation of who you are, that's going to shine through in everything that you do. And be very critical of what you want to do, right? This is an incredible time to be in engineering, where you can essentially choose your own adventure. And if there's even a single thing that doesn't resonate with you, that's probably not the right fit.
Yeah.
Right. Your life is way too short. We should be working and living, but our lives should not be just taken over by a profession. It should be a complementary thing that does add fulfillment. So a couple items in there, but it's just a really exciting time, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds. So
thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on winning the award.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of the Engineering Influence podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.